again, beautiful beings of light. Today I have an incredible video for all of you and information that is really related to your human. I didn't really know what to call this video, but it really applies to everyone, especially the cosmic beings who have been on this planet. You can think about this video as a part 2 to the starseed message activation video. So if you've ever felt like you've been somewhere else in the universe, if you've ever felt like you don't really fit in with other humans, if you've ever felt awkward or uncomfortable in your body, if you've ever been through bouts of depression or anxiety or apathy, this video is for you, and this is definitely a video to share with your friends, your family members, and your network. This is not necessarily talking about aliens. This is not necessarily talking about quantum physics. This is talking about you as a human being experiencing this really wild reality that we are currently in. So I'm going to talk about basically what it is, what it means to be a human. And I'm hoping that by better understanding your humanness, you are able to let go of any sort of resentment or resistance that you have to your human. So recently, I've really been embedding DNA codes and activations into my videos, into the information of these videos to really help you ascend, heal, complete, and move forward as fast as possible. So today, my intention for each and every one of you is to release any and all resistance that you have to being a human, and essentially to remember who you are as a human being as well. So before we deep dive into this content and information, just a couple of things that I want to mention, not necessarily announcements, but I noticed something today, and thank you so much, Evi, for that beautiful super chat. I noticed that the second that I posted this video that was going to premiere later on today, which is now, instantly someone disliked it, right? I get this instant thumbs down. Now, luckily, I'm pretty good about not letting that stuff get to me, but I definitely learned a lesson. And in my mind, I'm like, first of all, I haven't even released this video yet. Secondly, who is this person who keeps disliking? And you know what? You're probably watching right now, so I'm talking directly to you. And it's beautiful because, of course, these videos are going to get both positive and negative in the realm of polarity, And so I just wanted to say to this person, before even ever watching this content, you are the first person always to interact with my content. The second I post something, you must have notifications on. You must have the little bell clicked. The second you see Elizabeth April post anything, you are immediately disliking it. And I want to say to you, thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for engaging in my content. Thank you for showing up. And once again, it doesn't matter how you react or how you respond when you show up. The whole point is you are showing up. And I hope that later down the line, maybe tomorrow, maybe a month from now, maybe 10 years from now, I hope you think to yourself, that girl, that weird, crazy girl who I don't agree with, she was really onto something. I hope that one day, in your mind, in your soul, you don't even have to show it on social media, but in your soul, I hope that one day I impact your life in a positive way, because you are always the first person to show up. And I just want to say thank you for that, and I appreciate your presence in my life, even if I trigger you, because deep down, you keep coming back. You keep coming back for a reason. Deep down, you have committed your life to disliking my videos, even though you show up every time for it. Your soul is in resonation and your ego is in resistance, and that is okay. So I just wanted to say thank you, anonymous disliker. Thank you for being here. That being said, I don't really have any announcements or anything to promote. I just want to say thank you to all of you who do show up, especially the ones who don't dislike my stuff and who really get something from this. Please go ahead and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, it's super easy. It's just one button to click. Like this video if it resonates with you, of course. And yeah, and a special thanks to all of my members as well. You guys are incredible, great support. I do want to say that last week I posted a really amazing video on Thursday to all of my members, and it's literally entitled How to Connect to Your Spirit Guides. And it's really awesome. But when I take a look at the stats, not a whole lot of you have watched it. So I just want to say, quick little message to all my members. Please go into the membership only playlist or check out the community section and you will literally see the video, How to Connect to Your Spirit Guides. I think because it's very similar to the other video, which is Connect with Your Spirit Guides, I think a lot of you thought that it was a repeat video. So please go check that out. I know a lot of you have not watched it and you're my members. So just a little shout out to you guys. And then also I've decided to leave my dad's video up there for another 24 hours. So if you guys haven't yet watched me and my dad talking about spirit guides and talking about parenting old souls and star seeds, definitely check it out. That way you get to know me a little bit better and you get to kind of meet and greet my family members as well. So yeah, so be aware of that. Awesome. Let's get right into it, guys. Once again, thank you for being here. I mean, every day, all of you support me in speaking my truth and connecting with humanity and relaying information that I believe is so important to living your best life. So I literally can't thank you guys enough. Yeah, I'm super excited. All right, so, oh yeah, one more thing. Okay, cool. So this past weekend, this is going to be really weird, but this past weekend, me and my dad camped in Joshua Tree National Park, and I have this flashlight. Obviously, it's a part of my my survival gear, so it's solar power. Besides the point, it has a very powerful magnet on it, and I put my flashlight down on the ground. We were watching the sunset, and when I picked it up again, it picked up all of these stones. Look. So I don't know if you guys knew this, but apparently Joshua Tree and the stones in Joshua Tree are extremely magnetic. And that's probably why we didn't get any service, but there's a lot of little black rocks that are super magnetic. But then there's also like pure quartz. Like it literally blew both of our minds. Pure quartz crystal, just the white stones you see there are super magnetic in Joshua Tree. So I thought that was a really cool experience, an experiment. If you know anything about the magnetism in Joshua Tree, please message me. I'm just super curious about it. All right, being human. Let's talk about it. It sucks, doesn't it? No, it's good, it's good. All right. Okay, so what does being human consist of, right? Essentially, being human consists of two very main, but also two very important aspects. One aspect of being human is the physical body. We all know, and most of us don't fully love the physical body, right? Because it aches and pains and it gets older and it decays and sometimes it smells really bad and gets greasy. You know, you got to take care of it. There's a lot of maintenance that goes into the human body. You got to feed it, you got to release it, you got to shower it and bathe it. You know, it's like having a pet, but even more needy than having a pet, right? Okay, so one half of the human experience is the physical body. Once again, we all know about that all too well. Obviously, the other half of being a human is having a soul, right? And that's just the energy, the vibration behind it. So I want to break down the elements and the aspects of being human, just so all of you feel a little bit more validated and a little bit, maybe a lot more relieved in your experience of being human. So let's talk about the body first, okay? So we all need to literally live our life with the assumption that the human body is an experiment. We are not just, a snail out in the wilderness that has naturally progressed to its snail-like form. We are not. We are an experiment brought on by highly intelligent interdimensional beings. If you do not live your life with this assumption, you are naturally living your life in the vibration of disempowerment. Oh, I can't do that. Oh, I'm not good enough. Oh, I'm not psychic. It's always, I'm not. There's always a lack when it comes down to the physical human body. If you just exist in the body, if you just exist as this physical biological mass, not even understanding that your biological mass is fucking dope, you know? If that's all you exist as, then you constantly disempower yourself. You basically keep yourself small if you're only focusing on the physical bodily aspect, especially the physical bodily aspect that we've been taught in school, which is all a lie. It's a lie. Okay, so number one, in your physical human body, you're an experiment by highly intelligent beings. Number two, you are a hybrid. Your physical body is a hybrid. Science will tell us that there's a missing link. Science will also tell us that we have 90%, and I just looked this up the other day. Now they're saying we have like 98% or something crazy, or like 90, what was it, 92, 93%, I can't do math, junk DNA. Crazy. They say we only use 8% of our DNA. Like mind-blowing, right? Wonder why. We need to realize that our physical body is a hybrid, right? So basically what I mean by that is that I'm thinking around 20 to 30 different interdimensional beings have interlaced their DNA with us. Sometimes they've literally taken us on board ships a long, long time ago in our history, and they've actually spliced their DNA into our physical body. And sometimes they've actually mated, like fully physical mate with human beings to create hybrid babies. There's a lot of different ways that us as human beings have been created as hybrids, but one thing I know for sure, without a doubt, is that you and your physical body is a hybrid body. And if you disagree with me or you react to that statement, I promise you that you would still be a Neanderthal, right? Just in my thumbnail picture, you would be maybe step 1, step 2 of our evolution if you were not actually a hybrid. You would absolutely not look the way that you look right now if you were not a hybrid. I can guarantee that. Okay, so there should be no reaction. And for a lot of people, I think I've explained this story before, but maybe 2 years ago, I was at a conference in New Mexico, and I was on this panel of all these speakers. I was speaking, and then I was on this panel of speakers, and I was talking about the hybridization. I was talking about the grays. I was talking about the future of humanity being a hybrid species. And this woman in the crowd, she grabbed the mic because she wanted to ask a question, and she said, "Yeah, this is for Elizabeth April." Then she's like, "It's messed up." She used other words, but she's like, "It's messed up that you're on the alien side and that you believe that, this is a good thing that's happening." And I just said to her, I'm like, if you don't want, interdimensionals to splice their DNA with us to help us evolve even further, then you would still be, hitting stones together back in caveman era. I mean, we need to accept that we're already a hybrid species at this point in time. So in understanding your physical human body, you first need to understand that your physical human body is way more intelligent and way more advanced than just what you believe, right? Yeah. So every physical human body has different lineages and different genetic lineages from different places all over the world, right? Just like you get your 23andMe, which I definitely don't recommend, but if you were to get that, you're like, "Oh, well, I'm European," or "I'm like this," or whatever. Cool. Well, I mean, one day, hopefully one day, we will be open and free enough to have a genetic lineage, interdimensional test where you're like, "Oh, wow, I'm 33% Palladian. And then I've got, 2% gray, and I've got 4% reptilian." Amazing, right? And one of my gifts or abilities is to read someone's energy and actually understand the different percentages of their DNA and what's being expressed. And that's really important. Just because we have interdimensional DNA doesn't necessarily mean all of that interdimensional DNA is being expressed in this moment. So what I believe is that it takes our vibration to get to a certain level to express different genealogies in our DNA, different DNA strands, right? Just like I believe that if you really were to lower your vibration, your body starts attacking itself. Maybe it's an autoimmune disease. Maybe it's cancer. Maybe it's, thyroid issues, right? So it really is based on our vibration. Our vibration is the main component of unlocking or creating dormancy in our DNA. That's just what I believe. You can take it or leave it, as always. And then also, if, say, for example, you lower your vibration and you become very needy, very greedy, very attached, right? Maybe you're expressing your reptilian DNA with that vibration. Then you raise your vibration above that DNA strand, and then you start expressing your angelic DNA or your Palladian DNA, or you become very logical and analytical and your IQ shoots through the roof. Then you express your gray DNA or what have you. So just be aware that our vibration dictates the DNA that's expressed, but our biology dictates what DNA we have within us. Right, and I explained all of that in the hybrid. What kind of hybrid are you? I explained, the different types of hybrids, in understanding that even in childhood, we could have been genetically modified to have higher amounts of certain DNA strands rather than it just coming from our lineage. But I believe that most of us have it coming from our lineage. Okay, so really being aware of that. Okay, so also I want to say that the physical body exists off of consciousness. Consciousness, our soul, is the fuel that fuels our body, right? What is it called? Mind over body? Mind over matter? Yeah, mind over matter, right? So that whole saying is the same thing. The mind, right? Our consciousness, our soul can conquer anything. Right? Our soul can give us superhuman abilities or superhuman strength. Our body, just in and of itself, is kind of useless. So I wanted to tackle a couple of pieces of misinformation. I believe that these are pieces of misinformation, but I have heard a lot of the time that people believe in this stuff. So the first thing is, I've heard of other channelers say that there are people on this planet who are soulless, who don't have a soul. And that's never resonated with me. First of all, I've never met someone who doesn't have a soul, right? I mean, I believe that the body, the physical body, could not function without a soul. I truly, truly, truly believe that. Even if it's a super negative, serial killer, very dark human being, maybe it's an entity that's stepped into the body. Maybe it's a reptilian attachment. Maybe they're expressing lower vibrational forms of their DNA, right? But I believe that when your soul leaves your body, you're dead. I mean, that's truly what I believe. I believe that the soul and the body are synonymous. And to be honest, I believe this for every single physical incarnated body out there in the universe. Even in 8th dimensional Palladian, when the soul leaves the body is no longer able to function properly. And so when you think about astral traveling, like, what's that? Your soul is leaving the body, yes, but it's a fragment of your soul. It's a fragment, right? So that way, maybe sometimes when your soul leaves your body, a fragment of it, and you go off astral traveling, maybe that just renders you a little bit dormant. Maybe it renders you a little bit in autopilot, right? It doesn't allow you to fully be conscious and present and in the moment. Right? So just kind of being aware of that. So biological robots, I don't believe that a body can exist without a soul. That's just my belief based on my channeling. You can take it or leave it. I have, however, seen biological robots in small, like short grays, and I call them the disagreeable grays, the not so good ones. And I've actually seen reptilians take over the body of these biological robots. So I consider them robots. I don't consider them fully formed beings because they're lacking that soul. That's possible, once again, but I don't believe that a body can exist without a soul. The other thing too is AI, right? This is the reason why governments have such an issue with AI, is because they're having a hard time bringing consciousness into a robotic body, right? And that's the most difficult part. You can have AI that has algorithms that can really understand and read and relay and and learn, absolutely. But to have AI that's sentient, that can think for itself, that is fully aware of itself existing and the world around it existing, is very difficult, right? To bring in that consciousness into the body, right? So that's just a couple of thoughts there. Also, I wanted to say to everyone, with being a functional human being and having a body, pay attention to your body. Please, please, please pay attention to your body, because your body will tell you exactly what is disharmonic, exactly what is wrong in it, based on the different symptoms that you're experiencing in your body. So if you always have a pain in your left shoulder, you're like, ooh, I wonder what's going on there. It's not an old injury. It's actually energy that's stuck in that shoulder area, right? Same thing with extra weight. So I have people always tell me just very different things, right? So some people have extra weight around their lower abdomen and their midsection, like whatever I do, I just can't get rid of this extra weight. And I said, well, have you thought about loving yourself? And they're like, really? And I said, yeah, that's what's going to get rid of it, because that's the sacral chakra area. That is your emotional center. If you're not emotionally supporting yourself, your body is going to continue to hold that weight there. Same thing with thyroid issues, right? This is all about communication, speaking your truth, right? So yeah, same thing with like waking up and feeling nauseous every day, right? That's a solar plexus issue. That's you not fully believing in yourself, not feeling like you're powerful enough to take on the world, right? So please listen to your body, because your body is not just your body. Your body is an incredible, intelligent, highly advanced, highly sought after mechanism of information, of ability, of possibility. You know, it's really infinite. And your body will tell you where you have an energy block. Okay, cool. Good. So that's the physical body. Oh, hey, Rob, what's up? All right, so let's move on to the soul, right? I mean, this is the biggest aspect of being a human, is the soul. So I really want to go into the different types of souls on this planet. And I actually have never really relayed this information before. But when I was meditating right before this video, I really got a huge download about this. And I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing. So I'm going to talk about the human soul versus the cosmic soul. And those aren't great labels for it, because I have a difficult time finding labels for it. I mean, essentially, I could have called it a young soul versus an old soul, but I don't believe that souls necessarily have ages. I believe that we just go through experiences. This is difficult. Once again, I'm going to call it the human soul versus the cosmic soul, but don't get caught up in the labels, because it doesn't really make sense in the grand scheme of things. All right. So first of all, let's talk about the human soul. A lot of you have asked me, whether it be in sessions, whether it be in group chats, a lot of you have asked me over the years, I feel like my parents aren't cosmic. Like, I feel like, are there just humans on the planet who are just humans? And I'm going to clarify this information for you. And when I tapped into it today, it made a lot of sense. And actually, I clarified it for myself as well. So what I tapped into is, yes, there are human beings on this planet who are just human. And I'm just going to have to explain that, because it's not very good. Essentially, in a lot of ways, I started to believe and understand that all souls on this planet have got to be cosmic. I mean, we are such a master species. We are such an incredible hybrid being with this huge peace treaty that is our responsibility. Of course, you've got to be, an older soul. Of course, you've got to have experiences. Of course, you've got to come here with knowledge. So at a certain point in time, I just kind of believed that, maybe the really, really stubborn or really, really low vibrational souls on the planet, or the people on the planet, they're not just human, maybe they're just really lost, right? Now, what got corrected for me right before this video is my spirit guides explained to me that there is a section of human beings on this planet who are really just human, and I'm going to explain this. Okay, so when this planet originally had our first generation of body, we were like, say, for example, Neanderthal, okay? There's, Homo sapien, Homo erectus, there's a bunch of different ones in between there, but let's just call them all Neanderthal for right now. Okay, so when the Neanderthals were here on this planet, and they were kind of like moving from the ape-like being to the Neanderthal-like being, okay, there are a bunch of souls who came to this planet just understanding this planet as a third dimension density, which means that the majority of these souls came from first dimension and second dimension and a little bit of third dimension, and then naturally in their progression they came to this planet understanding with their contracts this is just it's just another, a terrestrial planet that's in the third dimension, and they came here specifically for third dimension lessons. Does that make sense? So there's the original souls who came to this planet came here only for a third dimension lesson, okay? Only to be human, all right? And so in a sense, because they've only ever experienced first dimension, second dimension, and a little bit of third dimension, in a way, they're very simple, and I don't like using that word because I believe that we're all beautiful and complex and we're all very highly intelligent souls. But in a way, these beings, these souls, came here for very simple lessons of, well, I need to feed my body. Well, what does abundance mean to me? Well, I'm learning the lessons of emotions, and that's about it, right? They came here specifically for third dimensional lessons. So I call this the human soul. All right, that's just, once again, lack of a better term. This is basically the souls who came here just for the 3D. And from what I channeled just earlier today, I channeled that there's about 30% of the beings on this planet are these human beings. Now, once the planet started to evolve and elevate, and all of a sudden it's like, whoa, this is a very highly intelligent planet. And once all of these interdimensional beings started to intermesh with this planet and create these hybrid beings on this planet, once all of that started to happen, really highly evolved and cosmic souls came to this planet. And unfortunately, the Neanderthal or the human soul couldn't just up and leave the planet because now they've created karmic contracts with the planet, which keeps holding them back. So even though this 30% of these human souls are not necessarily here for the betterment of humanity as a whole, and they're just here to learn and grow within themselves, they're still kind of stuck here within their own karma, okay? Thank you so much, Catherine, for that beautiful super chat. Okay, so yeah, so that's the human soul. So once again, I believe that there's about 30% of these beings who are here who kind of have, in an unfortunate way, been trapped here. And now they're like, whoa, this is not really what I signed up for. Why is it starting to get a lot more complicated? And eventually, and my ear just popped, eventually, we're going to get to a point where the new normal is starseeds. And we're already at that point, but the starseeds are still waking up. We're going to get to a point where the new normal is having psychic and spiritual abilities. And then all of a sudden, there's going to be 30% of these beings on the planet who are like, well, why don't I have that? And the roles are going to completely reverse. And I believe that we're probably going to see that reversal in our lifetime, right? So after the planet was seeded with this 30% human souls who really just came here to be 3D, we started to we, as in the Galactic Federation, started to ask as many beings as possible, will you volunteer for planet Earth? Will you sign up? Will you, we need as many troops on the ground as possible. We need as many different species, as many light workers, as many Earth grid healers. We need as many beings of a high vibration as possible to come to this planet Earth, to help raise the vibration, to help fight the good fight, sort of thing. So this is what I call the cosmic soul. The cosmic soul came to this planet from higher dimensions, extremely high dimensions, as a matter of fact. And they came all the way down here, boom, to the third dimension frequency. And it's been very difficult. And most likely, I would say probably at least 90% of my audience are all cosmic souls, if not more, right? It would be very difficult for a human soul, in a sense, to listen to this content and really understand it or resonate with it. So yeah, so about 70% of the people on this planet are actually cosmic souls who came here with a mission, right? The human souls came here to once again learn and grow and move forward, but they didn't necessarily volunteer themselves here for a mission for the greater good of humanity. Now, if you're thinking to yourself, 70%, wow, like that's a lot. I mean, right now we maybe have 10% online, we maybe have 5% online. And when I say online, I mean like awakened. But I also channeled as well that about 10% of the 70%, which I don't know what the math is on that, but 10% of the 70% who are the cosmic souls are reptilians, right? So we also need to understand that the majority of the beings who have been in control, the elites of society on this planet, are reptilian souls, and that also makes them a cosmic soul, okay? So just being aware that, they're a part of the cosmic collective here as well. So it's really important to understand that. So as a cosmic soul, you came here specifically with blueprints and with contracts. And as a cosmic soul, you have contracts to give something to humanity, and the majority of you are here to just raise the frequency, and no matter what you can do. Maybe you're a lawyer and you're a lawyer fighting for justice. Maybe you're a grocery clerk and you smile at everyone you meet, you just sharing your vibration, right? Giving back to the world. A lot of the 70% of the cosmic souls are not awakened yet. That's okay. They're starting to awaken. They're starting to remember who they are. And a lot of the contracts of the cosmic souls coming to this planet are also, okay, so here's what I'm giving to humanity, here's what I'm providing, and here's what I'm learning. A lot of the human souls is, here's what I'm learning, here's what I'm getting out of this, right? And that's why it's so difficult to be a starseed. That's why it's so difficult to be this incredibly powerful cosmic soul on this planet, because you're used to having full freedom. You're used to tapping in. You're used to being full telepathic. You're used to being in the 8th dimension or the 10th dimension or what have you. And then you're here, right? And you've lost everything. So that can be very frustrating. I also want to mention too that most of the cosmic souls, especially the OG cosmic souls, because right now we have this huge influx of new cosmic souls who have never been on this planet before coming to this planet. And they've been preparing for a long time to be here at this time. A lot of them coming to this planet, like a lot of these children, these starseed crystalline children coming to this planet, some of them feel like they came too soon. And a lot of my generation, who were these cosmic, indigo, crystalline children, in a sense, came in too soon, and they were bullied, they were persecuted, and they couldn't handle it, and they got into drugs. And unfortunately, a lot of them have been, into drugs or suicidal or really depressed because they're like, why am I here? What's my purpose, right? And it really bothers them that they have forgotten who they are and they've forgotten their purpose. So then there's brand new cosmic souls who've never been to this planet, who are very excited for being here. But once again, it can be difficult for them to also find their mission and find their passion and remember who they are. But most of you that I'm talking to right now, not the children, not the new cosmic souls, but most of you who have been here since ancient Atlantis, ancient Egypt, ancient Greece, like all the way back, ancient Aztec, most of you who have been here for a very long time, who have volunteered yourself because you're a cosmic soul, you're ending your contracts. You are ending your contracts, which means that the first half of your life would have been really explosive, would have been really difficult, would have been really up and down. And now you're getting to a point where you're able to relax a little bit, where you're able to be a human a little bit without the resistance or the resentment. You're getting to a point where things are easier than ever before. And if you're not at that point yet, you will get there. I promise you. We are all starting to relax a little bit in the ease of life because these new cosmic souls are coming in to say, thanks so much for leading the way. Thanks so much for carving the path. Now I'm here to help you. And now we're like, Okay, we've won the war. We've won the battle. Now we can relax, right? And then it's your last life, and then you're out of here. And I had a client the other day say, "What do you mean it's my last life? Where do I go after I'm done?" And I said, "No, no, no. You're just done on this planet. You're gonna go off, and you're gonna be a beautiful angelic being or a Palladian." And I'll tell you, it's really funny. What I tend to find most of the time is these cosmic souls who volunteered themselves to be here, all of you guys, the next life, right? So I do a lot of like tapping into future lifetimes as well as tapping into past lives. And the very next life for most of you is going to be an etheric one. And what I mean by that is your next life is going to be one where you don't really have a body, but you're still incarnated into something. So like an angel or an ascended master or a Palladian or a mantis, once again, in the etheric, in the energy form, rather than a physical form, because you're so done with being a physical being. You are so done with the polarity here on this planet, and I don't blame you, right? So once again, be aware that most of you as cosmic beings are ending your contracts right now, and you're preparing yourself to move forward. So, what else? What else do you want? What else do you need to thrive, to flourish, to get excited to be here? I mean, really, take a moment, even right now, to think about it. This is it. This is your last life on this planet. So what else as a human being do you want to experience? For me, it's like, I love food. Like, I love experiencing new tastes, new flavors, new smells, new drinks. Like, I just think it's fascinating the type of food that we have here. I also think it's fascinating the music that we have here, too. I love listening to music all day. It boosts my mood, right? What else, as a human being, with your 5 beautiful, incredible human senses, do you want to do? Do you want to accomplish? I want each and every one of you, maybe today, maybe this week, to write a bucket list, right? I don't care if you're 10 years old or you're 85 years old. You still have time. You're listening to this right now for a reason. I want you to write a bucket list of at least 5 things that you want to experience for your last life on this planet. Super important. And if spiritual abilities is one of the things on your bucket list, cross it off. You're already an incredibly psychic spiritual being. You're going to go off in all these other dimensions and have all of your psychic gifts, and it's going to be boring because that's the norm. That's the usual. We have a limited form of consciousness right now. We can only look at really one thing at a time because our brain capacity isn't wide enough to process multiple things simultaneously. So enjoy it. Enjoy the simplicity of being a human and experience it for everything that it has to offer. All right. So yeah, what else do you want? I also want to say too that the more cosmic a soul you are, the more complicated things get. And I'll explain that in a little bit. The more human your soul is, the more simple things are, but in a very relative term. So I want to explain this. So say, for example, right? So a human soul, right? Like, once again, that's just what I'm calling it for now. Say this is like a business mogul and he's been really, pursuing the human endeavor of financial wealth and money. And then he spends all his money buying a Lamborghini. And then he gets into a car crash with his Lamborghini and it's like the end of the world because he just lost his favorite car. Now, for him, in his human mindset, that's it. That's the end of the world. That's the worst thing that could ever possibly happen. For a cosmic soul, we're looking at that and saying, there are starving children all over the world. Like, who cares? No one cares about your car, right? So it's relative, right? So the human souls out there, they make big, big deals over something that is fairly insignificant. Oh, my friend's not calling me back. So it's not meant to be. Just end the story, drop it, walk away. So for the human souls, once again, more simple lessons because they're 3D lessons. For us cosmic souls, things get complicated. Like, imagine this, right? So you're a cosmic being. you're living your life, you begin to wake up, you begin to be aware of your moment, every moment in your life, moment to moment, every choice that you're making, every emotion that you're feeling, every physical thing that happens has a lesson to it. What lesson are you learning because you picked up the blue pen versus the red pen? What lesson are you learning because you stubbed your toe, right? So not only are you just trying to live and exist and thrive as a human being by working the 9 to 5 and taking care of your kids and answering those emails and, exercising and eating right and focusing on your emotions and making sure that you're there for your friends and family members. And then you step into this entirely new world that is literally inside the physical world. And now all of a sudden, everything has a message to it. Everything has a lesson. Everything has an energetic vibration. Everything that you're doing or not doing is creating the next moment in manifestation. Oh my God. Wow. It's a lot. Like, talk about an overwhelm. Talk about balancing the human physical existence in this moment versus balancing the energetic vibrational existence. That's a lot. And we tend to get very overwhelmed in that moment. The more cosmic you are, the more complex and complicated the lessons are that you're learning, right? So being aware of that. Cool, like I'm not gonna cry over my broken mug or whatever, right? But I will get distraught over, not being able to connect with someone at an energetic level the way that I'd like to, or what have you, right? Things get entangled, things get sticky very quickly as a cosmic soul. Okay, so, yes. So I just wanted to say one thing, and then I'm going to leave it at that for now. I just want to tell you that I'm going to be filming a video right after this for all of my members, and I'm going to go into how do you exist in a balance, in harmony between your cosmic and your human. So once again, like I love explaining the information, and then I love going that much deeper with my members to say, okay, that's great. Now, how do you do it? How do you step back from the overcomplicated energies of this reality and live your life in harmony and as simplistically as possible? So I'm going to be filming that video right after this for all of my members, and it will be released Thursday. So I want to just warn all of my members, I will look the same in the video. I will be wearing the same thing. And please, all of my members, go check out my last video last week that I released on Thursday. And it's literally entitled, How to Connect to Your Spirit Guides. I think a lot of you just thought that that was Monday's video, and most of you haven't watched it. Trust me, I know. I look at how many members I have and how many people watched the video, and not a whole lot of you watched it. All right, so check it out. Other than that, guys, thank you all for being here. You are awesome. Be sure to subscribe. Be sure to like this video, and please share it, because there are so many people out there in the world who are all battling their human beings. They're all battling. They're all very confused at why they're here at this time. You just need to remember that you are incredibly powerful. You are incredibly gifted. You have an amazing ability to tap into biological DNA that is very powerful. And then you have an amazing ability to tap into your soul's consciousness, which is infinite. And that's incredible as well. So thank you to all of you who are here. Keep up the good vibes. I love you all so much. I will be doing a live radio show this week. For those of you who missed it last time, I'll be sure to maybe put a reminder on YouTube a couple days beforehand. I have to check out my schedule, but I think maybe Saturday would be a good day to do the live radio show. And then I get live callers. It's so much fun. If you haven't checked out my first ever radio show, please check it out. The live callers were epic, amazing. And I really felt like there was great questions there, and we really got to a lot of things. So yeah, keep up the good work, everyone. You're not just a human. You are way more powerful than that. And I'm excited to see all of you come online and start to experience your spiritual and psychic gifts and abilities. Bye for now.